Hello, everyone. Anybody who's here, drop a comment so I know you're here. Today, we are talking about the question I get asked nearly every single day. Should I quit my job first or build my business on the side? And number one, I think you're going to be surprised by my answer. But number two, I totally believe that this is the wrong question. So stay with me. I'm going to tell you the question that you want to ask instead. So how many, of you have been stuck on this question for months or even years? Drop a comment if this is you. I see you, and we're going to fix this today. So I'm Prosperous Jen. I built a business from the ashes and went to 6 figures in 6 months. I now lead professionals to leave those golden cages and build scalable businesses. Many have asked me this question: should I quit first or build on the side? And here's what I told them. This isn't the question you want to be asking. And once they asked the right question, they built the business in their terms, left with paying clients already lined up, and now living inspired, not obligated. And let me show you how today. So first of all, I've done both. Hello, everybody. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you are, get your comments. I'll get back to them later in a little bit. But yeah, so I have done both. When my world blew up a few years ago, I launched my business without any capital, and most importantly, without an actual plan. And I can tell you that I don't recommend that. So that would be the equivalent of quitting. And it was very, very, it was stressful where it didn't need to be. I was making decisions out of fear, out of scarcity, even out of desperation. And it wasn't a ton of fun, which my team, Jose, can probably tell you, it was a little stressful. So fast forward, I've launched my group coaching program while mostly I had a full calendar of clients and income coming in. This route, I was able to strategize. I created my blueprint and I had clarity. And I also had income, which created a much more fun atmosphere and a lot less stressful. Although, yes, it was a lot of hours. It can be stressful as far as just, getting all that done, but it was a different kind of stress. I knew every day that I was working towards something that I desired and that I wanted. And when you're in a position of building a business without income, every day without income feels like failure. And that is not conducive to launching a successful business, right? Because it's all about that energy. So important that we get our energy right. And so it was completely different. Building this group coaching, there's a lot more flow. It's not forced. There's inspiration. I feel excited. And that's the part that most people skip. They either want to quit their job and launch their business, but they don't have any clarity and they don't have the capital and they don't have the income, or they stay stuck, which is what I see the most often. But the problem is they're staying stuck and regretting. I wish I could just quit. I should have quit. I should have done this. So I think the thing that we want to do is build a bridge, build a nice bridge that you can walk across, and on the other side is your successful business, and there's income and there's clients, and you can have fun in the process of creating it. So drop ready in the comments right now or DM me, and I will send you that blueprint, and I'm going to give you a little piece of what we go through in my Beyond Limits group coaching program today. So why is should I quit the wrong question? Because that's about tactics, not strategy. You're asking what to do before you have the clarity on who you are becoming, and that is backwards. So what does that mean, who are becoming? Well, right now, this week in my group coaching, we are doing vision casting, and we actually take the time to identify all the areas in our life that we want to grow and we want to expand in, and that we have desires, wants, goals for. So let's just talk about business right now. So we want to vision cast the business that we want to build. Then we want to look at it 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Let's go all the way out to 10 years from now. What does that version of myself look like? What does their day look like? What are their habits like? What do their relationships look like? What does their business look like? Most importantly, what is the gap between where you are now and where you are when this goal is achieved and this business is launched and it is successful? And what are all the things that you had to learn, you had to start doing, you had to stop doing? And I don't mean you get to, right? We get to learn, we get to start doing things, and we get to stop doing things so that we can achieve our own desires. So we look forward to 10 years, the business is built, it's successful, this is what it looks like, and this is who I have become. And then we begin to create that blueprint. And you don't need to go 10 years out for this. Really want to go 1 year out to 3 years out. What does it look like? How much am I earning? What are my clients like? What are my offers? Really getting that clarity. And then you go backwards and you build a blueprint to where you are at now and where you are in that future version of you. And you build that blueprint and you begin to align your choices, your habits, and your actions to that desired outcome. So that's how you get to understand your future version. And if you drop ready in the comments, I will not only send you the blueprint, but I will also send you my vision casting part 1 and 2 to help you with that. And we want to get so clear on what this looks like, this future version of ourselves. Okay, down to every area of your life, how it's getting specific. So now we want to talk about making conscious decisions versus reactive decisions. Tracy, I will get to your question, I promise. So reactive equals fear-based, right? What if I fail? I don't have the money. Everyone tells me I should stay and not quit my job. These ways of making decisions will keep you stuck. And even if you make those decisions and you decide to stay, you're going to be that person that's like, I should have quit. I wish I could quit. I hate this job. When you start to begin to view the job that you're in because you have this vision of your future and you have the blueprint and you start making choices and taking actions towards that goal, you're going to see this job as the means to an end. And you're going to be grateful for it because it's enabling you to be able to build a business that's going to support the life of your dreams while having income. So you're not stressed and you're not pressured. But many people will stay in the job and stay stuck, and they'll start and they'll stop and they'll start and they'll stop. Drop ready in the comments if you'd like my blueprint that will help you, give you this idea in general of how to start moving forward. So conscious decision is where you really identify, who am I in this version, this future version of myself with this successful business launched? What timeline serves my vision? Is it going to take me 6 months? Is it going to take me 8 months? Is it going to take me a year? We really need that clarity in order to be able to decide what is best, right? Then we want to make sure we have that timeline, the right timeline, whether it's 6 months or 3 years, it doesn't matter. But if we don't have that clarity, we're setting ourselves up for failure. So it really everything begins with clarity, really knowing what you want. What does it look like, that whole entire future? And then we reverse engineer that path and you begin to identify what happens first, what happens second, what happens next. This is what I built after my business, is this framework that I have for you guys. And then once you decide this is the path that I'm going to take to launch my business, once you decide that, then you commit and you start taking those steps, moving forward on a daily basis and celebrating every single success. Now you are building not from pressure, not from stress, not from desperation, as I did with my first business launch. You are building from commitment to becoming a better version of yourself in the process of building this business. And you get to step in and embody that version of yourself now, today. And then quit versus build on the side it's just going to be clear, because we don't want you to quit and fail. But worse, we don't want you to stay in the job and be resentful and not be happy. We want to be excited. We want to be inspired. We want to build our businesses from a place of being inspired. That is the only way. What's the point? Otherwise, you're trading one cage for another. Okay. But this one, you're locking yourselves inside of, and we don't want to do that. Okay. Let me get to some of these questions. Let's see if I can see. All right. So Tracy, how do we manage exhaustion and mental load of being in both worlds at the same time? Okay. Great question, because I manage this right now. It is 3 p.m. where I am. I've been coaching one-on-one pretty much all day. I haven't eaten yet, but I get this energy because I am inspired. And that means that I am in a place where I have my clarity. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly that what I am doing all day, every day, is moving me towards that vision, towards those goals, towards their outcome. And it gives me this level of energy that people just can't understand until you step into that inspired place. Does that make sense? Because that's what it is. So beginning by gaining that clarity alone gives you a level of energy that blows past any kind of exhaustion or hunger that you may be feeling, because you are inspired. You're not worried about those things. Of course, I know I'm going to eat. Obviously, I am not withering away to nothing. I also manage my time as well as I can. I average 7 hours of sleep a night, maybe 6.5. I do yoga every single day. I get 12,000 steps in at least 5 days a week or 4 days a week. And on those other days, I get at least 8,000 or 9,000. I'm moving my body. I do meditation. I do all kinds of things to manage exhaustion. I call it energy management versus time management. Really great question. One day I'll do a whole live on energy management, because it's super, super important. All right, let me see. There was another question. How can you test your business idea while still employed to know if it's worth going all in? Great question. We just did this a couple of weeks ago in my group coaching. By the way, drop ready in the comments if you would like to get the blueprint, and also Vision Casting 1 and 2. We will send those to you. So the way that you're going to test your business idea is, first, you come up with the idea. Then you develop, who is this idea for? Right? Whose problem is this solving? Whose dreams is this making coming true? Who are those people? And once you identify your offer or your product and who you're serving, then you can go out and launch it, soft launch. In the business world, they call this MVP. Is it MVP? Viable product. Something viable products. It's escaping me. But you basically will go out and test it on a few people and see how they feel. Make a couple of offers and then tweak and then tweak and then tweak. And you can do this while being employed in your extra time. And here's the thing. Everybody fools themselves and says, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time when I'm working full time to do those things. Well, do a time analysis. When you are out of work, let's say it's 9 to 5. How many hours a day do you actually have of free time? And what are you doing in those hours? Are you binge watching TV? I get it. Believe me, I get that 100%. I love binge watching TV, but I also ask myself, do I want to be entertained or do I want to actualize my dreams? And I make a choice. And when I have the clarity of what I want, then that choice becomes a lot easier. And then these type of things become choiceless. I know exactly what I want, and I know whether or not my actions right now are moving me towards that goal and towards that desire, or they're moving me away. Make sense? And so many of the things that we end up talking ourselves out of, like, I just don't have the time. This is programming. And this is also just limiting beliefs and doubt. And it's a lack of clarity. When you have this beautiful North Star up there and you are working towards it. And that North Star is your vision, your clarity, your future version of yourself defined. You know what their daily habits are, how they communicate, how they act, what they do. And you start aligning yourself with that, with those actions and those habits and those choices. That all becomes clear. What's one thing someone can do this week to move closer to clarity on this decision? I take the time to visualize 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, as far out as you can on the business that you desire. How does it impact your life? What does it look like? How do you feel? How does it impact your family? How do you spend your days? What are you driving? Where do you live? What does it look like? All of those things. What are the emotions that are surrounded the outcome? What emotions surrounded the outcome of accomplishing this goal? What does that feel like? Really get that clarity. And then let's say you decide, okay, I'm going to start with 3 years out. What does their morning routine look like? What is their evening routine like? What do their relationships look like? What kind of decisions do they make? How do they communicate? And where am I at in comparison to where they're at 3 years from now? Where am I at today? This is what we call the integrity gap. This is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. What are all the things between here and there that I get to learn, that I get to start doing, that I get to stop doing? And this is, I say I get to, not that you have to learn and that you have to start doing and that you have to stop doing, because you don't have to do anything. It is all a choice. And wherever you are at in your life right now, it is a result of all the choices you have made up until this moment. And right now, you can step in and decide to make different choices. But the beauty is when you gain that clarity, Tracy, you now have more clarity on what are the choices should I be making. Is binge watching this show right now moving me towards that goal or moving me away from it? And start to realize that there is no standing still. We say that we're stuck, but really what you're doing is moving backwards, especially in today's world. So I'm super grateful. Please drop ready in the comments, whether you're live or you're catching the replay. Drop ready in the comments. We will respond. We will get you the blueprint. There's no strings attached. I am on a mission to help over 1 million people self-actualize and level up, build a business that supports the life of your dreams, and do it while inspired. It feels good. It's exciting. And I know you can do it. Thank you, guys.